can work.
It can work.
Yeah, I'm living proof. Yes, it can work.
But I've seen a lot of people together for a long time, and then sometimes it seems like they're just together, but they're not necessarily having fun together.
You know what? I would say over the years, you do have years that
Y'all, she revealed everything. And I'm not describing some harmless shade or a playful little whisper. I'm describing the kind of reality that scorches careers, erases reputations, and throws the entire internet into total chaos. Because tonight, Dr. Heavenly didn't go live to chatter. She went live to obliterate. The second her face filled the screen, steady, icy, unmoved, you could sense something heavy in the atmosphere. A type of stillness that only arrives before a storm strong enough to rip a family apart. And then she said it, the sentence that locked millions mid-scroll. Let's talk about who Kandi truly is and why her marriage was cursed from the beginning. Chad detonated. Hearts paused. Viewers leaned closer to their screens like their spirits were being pulled toward the truth. Because what Heavenly unleashed next, it wasn't chaotic. It was annihilating. According to her, allegedly, Kandi never loved Todd. Not one day. Not one moment. She married someone she could dominate, someone financially below her, someone she could mold, direct, and display as a prop inside her flawless family fantasy. And that was merely the opening strike. Heavenly alleged the real Kandi was icier, deeper, and more merciless than anyone had ever imagined possible. A woman addicted to power. A woman who required control like breathing. A woman who allegedly toyed with people's emotions, their futures, their marriages, their livelihoods, all so she could remain above everyone with a crown no one could reach. And as she continued speaking, as the revelations kept pouring out, it felt less like a live stream and more like a ritual execution. Tonight wasn't gossip. Tonight was loss, treachery, and the collapse of a legacy. Strap in, because what you're about to hear isn't drama. It's devastation. The kind of slow-burning, reputation-ending devastation that doesn't just expose someone, it peels back their entire legacy, shard by brutal shard, until nothing familiar survives. Tonight, Dr. Heavenly didn't murmur, didn't suggest, didn't bait. She yanked the cloth off the entire illusion and left every broken truth exposed before the world. And the way she delivered it, composed, deliberate, precise. Like someone who had guarded these secrets for far too long and finally chose to let the truth incinerate everything. The instant she went live, thousands rushed in. No greeting, no chatter, no grin, just a face that warned, this will hurt. She leaned forward slightly, the space behind her silent, and with a voice that sounded like sworn testimony, she began. Let's stop lying, she said. Kandi didn't marry for love. She married for control. That single statement was enough to split the internet apart. Comments surged so quickly the screen couldn't keep pace. People gasped instantly, covered their mouths, froze mid-scroll. Because for years, audiences framed Kandi Burruss as the untouchable blueprint, unbreakable success, relentless career, relentless drive, relentless confidence, relentless marriage. But according to Heavenly, that portrait was nothing but a polished lens concealing a reality far darker than anyone wanted to confront. She continued, Todd wasn't a husband. He was a movable piece on her board. Someone smaller, someone economically weaker, someone who would never endanger the empire she constructed. Each sentence cut sharper than the one before. Heavenly never elevated her tone. She didn't have to. Her composure was the blade. She laid out how Kandi allegedly selected Todd not because he completed her, but because he could never confront her. How she required someone flexible, someone who wouldn't resist, someone she could sculpt, instruct, and place precisely where she needed him. That marriage, she said, was a contract wrapped in wedding vows. No one exhaled. There was no stumble, no pause, just a clinical dismantling of a relationship people once swore was rooted in real love. Heavenly portrayed a woman motivated not by emotion, but by calculation. A woman who allegedly saw intimacy as weakness. A woman who craved dominance over devotion. As she spoke, it stopped feeling like a live stream. It felt like testimony being entered. She pushed further, exposing that behind the cameras, the grins, and the carefully staged family narrative lived a truth people felt, but were too afraid to voice aloud. Kandi allegedly loved the concept of marriage, not the person inside it. She highlighted something unsettling. The way Kandi always positioned herself slightly above her partners, financially, emotionally, socially. Everything around her had to revolve around her center. And the second someone drifted close to disturbing that balance, she cut them off with a chill only survivors recognize. But that was just the beginning. In the same measured voice, she said, Kandi didn't only want marriage. She wanted the authority that came from owning it. Viewers watching live began typing frantic, sprawling messages, some refusing it, some stunned silent, some confessing they always felt something wrong, something empty, something rehearsed. Heavenly continued explaining how this alleged dominance bled into every corner, how employees sensed it, how producers sensed it, how even castmates murmured about her control behind closed doors. According to Heavenly, Kandi carried a narcissistic craving for dominance that eclipsed every bond around her. She sketched the image of a woman who allegedly required loyalty, compliance, and silence from everyone in her circle while giving nothing emotional back. Heavenly's voice tightened, like she was weighing every word. There was no warmth inside that home, only tension. The chat detonated. Viewers fired off rapid reactions, disbelief slowly morphing into recognition. The longer she spoke, the more the carefully crafted image of Kandi's life, the perfect marriage, the perfect house, the perfect growing empire, began dissolving into ash. Then Heavenly released the detail that sent comment sections spiraling. Kandi admitted publicly that she enjoyed threesomes, but what she never explained was the motive. It wasn't about pleasure. It was about dominance. She paused. She didn't want emotional closeness. She wanted situations she could control. The entire energy of the live shifted. This wasn't gossip. This was psychological manipulation laid bare. Heavenly detailed how Kandi allegedly maintained emotional distance by keeping situations unstable, extending suggestive invitations to certain castmates, blurring boundaries, playing dangerously close to lines no married person should approach. She even mentioned how Portia once said Kandi made an offer that left her shaken. And suddenly everything fans once brushed off as storyline chaos felt like early signals of something far darker. The audience felt the gravity. This wasn't standard reality TV drama. This was a collapse. Heavenly inhaled, then moved into something even heavier. The family structure. Mama Joyce, she said, was poisonous from the start. Viewers who'd watched Mama Joyce for years knew this wouldn't be gentle. She never respected Todd, never accepted him, never trusted him. She labeled him a user before the prenup ink even dried. And Heavenly wasn't finished. She explained how the entire prenup ordeal wasn't about love. It was humiliation disguised as protection. How Mama Joyce pushed it. How Kandi supported it. How Todd allegedly signed under pressure, not devotion. It wasn't evidence he loved her. Heavenly said it was evidence he had no alternative. The comments erupted again. Some defending Todd. Some frozen silent. Some enraged they missed the emotional manipulation hiding in plain sight. Heavenly described Mama Joyce as a constant shadow over the marriage. Someone who saw Todd as a threat, not a partner. Someone who planted doubt and bitterness inside the home from day one. Someone who allegedly fed Riley narratives that made unity impossible. Viewers felt the weight of every word. Like each sentence stripped away another layer of a private world never meant to be seen. Heavenly wasn't gossiping. She was assembling a case. She said Riley allegedly grew up believing Todd was temporary, undeserving, beneath her. That she was conditioned to see him as an outsider, nearly an opponent. And that the strain between Riley and Kayla wasn't teenage friction. It was emotional inheritance. By now, the audience was exhausted, minds racing, hearts pounding, but Heavenly wasn't finished. She leaned in again, and the chat went still. There's more, she said softly. Something the industry has murmured about for years, but never dared to voice. People stopped breathing. Her tone lowered. Some insiders claim Don Juan wasn't only a manager. They claim he was involved. The air turned icy. There are whispers that one of the children people assume belongs to Todd may not. The chat erupted into madness, disbelief, fury, grief, accusations, and Heavenly didn't blink. She closed the segment with one final crushing sentence. Nothing about that marriage was authentic. Not the affection, not the loyalty, not the family bond. Everything was constructed on dominance, control, and survival, never on love. The live no longer felt like content. It felt like a legacy imploding in real time. And the second those words landed, the atmosphere inside that live stream twisted into something ominous. Viewers weren't just watching anymore, they were witnessing an undoing, a slow-motion collapse of an image they'd been sold for years. The chat kept pouring in with shock, but Heavenly only grew quieter, steadier, as if carrying this truth for so long that finally releasing it let her breathe. She didn't flinch as she went on. "There's a part of this story," she said softly, "that no one wants to say out loud because it reveals just how shattered everything behind those walls truly was." The weight in her voice pulled thousands closer to their screens. She explained that the disorder inside that home didn't start with fame, or even with marriage. It started with years of resentment buried beneath success, years of unspoken strain layered under a glamorous life. She painted a house where every room held a different war. Silence in one space, arguments in another, emotional distance stretched so far that nothing could cross it. It no longer sounded like a marriage. It sounded like an institution slowly crumbling under the weight of its own deception. Then Heavenly moved into something even darker. She described how Todd allegedly began pulling back, not from rage, but from fatigue. He was surrounded by people who never wanted him there. He tried to fit in, tried to add value, tried to be a father, a husband, a presence that mattered. But every move he made was met with scrutiny, rejection, or worse, indifference. She said he didn't just lose confidence. He lost himself. The comments poured in with broken hearts, flames, stunned reactions. Viewers struggled to absorb it, but Heavenly didn't allow a pause. She leaned forward slightly. While everyone was busy blaming Todd as the issue, people overlooked what he was quietly enduring. A home where every choice was made without him. Every emotional bond was filtered before it reached him. Every boundary he tried to create was crossed before it could protect him. This wasn't partnership. This was endurance training. Then, without warning, she revealed something even more unsettling. She said Todd allegedly began finding emotional refuge outside the home. Not romantically at first, but through conversations with someone who listened without reducing him to a prop. And that person, she claimed, was none other than Portia. The screen exploded, but Heavenly wasn't playing it up. Her voice stayed steady. She spoke like someone sworn to the truth. It began with simple talks, she said. Two people sharing how suffocating life under pressure can be. Two people feeling unseen. Two people understanding each other in ways no one else around them did. Viewer reactions turned frantic, some furious, some stunned, some murmuring, "I knew it." Then Heavenly delivered the sentence that stopped everyone cold. And emotional comfort sits just one step away from emotional attachment. And emotional attachment is a single breath away from something far deeper. She let the quiet linger just long enough for it to sink in. People don't just fall for someone else, she said. They fall out of what they're imprisoned in. Her words weren't theatrical, weren't inflated, just brutally honest. Then, in that same controlled voice, she exposed the alleged truth that had circulated in hushed conversations for years. Todd didn't only open up to Portia. He allegedly developed feelings for her, and she felt them too. The live chat erupted so aggressively that comments blurred into streaks across the screen. But Heavenly pressed on. She described how that emotional pull allegedly intensified during private moments away from cameras, away from cast members, away from watchful eyes. She painted the picture of two people connecting in ways that should never happen while one of them is married. Yet they kept gravitating toward each other because the lives they were escaping were already falling apart. And then she dropped the nuclear revelation, the one that made thousands clutch their chests, rewind the stream, and shout at their screens. "There are rumors," she said quietly, "that something occurred during that fragile time. Something that left behind a consequence no one anticipated." She paused just long enough for the tension to tighten. Then she said it. "There may be a child involved." The live didn't just shake, it exploded. Viewers typed in disbelief, in panic, in shock. "Wait, stop. Heavenly, what are you saying? That child, who does it belong to?" But Heavenly remained unreadable, steady like someone unloading truths they never asked to carry. She made it clear she wasn't naming a child, wasn't accusing directly, but repeating what insiders had murmured for years, that Todd's life beyond the marriage wasn't as spotless as he portrayed. She said when someone contests a prenup, they aren't battling for romance, they're battling for escape. The way she delivered it felt like a punch straight through the center of the marriage storyline. She then detailed how the prenup dispute allegedly revealed Todd's real motive, not loyalty, not commitment, but a need for financial safety because he understood the emotional base of the marriage was already hollow. She went on describing how the household energy turned more toxic, Kandi tightening her grip, Todd retreating further, Mama Joyce hurling verbal weapons, Riley taking sides, Kayla disappearing emotionally, Don Juan hovering around the chaos like a silent storm. And in the middle of all of it, the public kept applauding the couple goals image posted online, unaware of the emotional battlefield raging behind closed doors. Heavenly spoke of late-night fights stretching into sunrise, dinners eaten in silence, family gatherings where smiles were pulled so tight they nearly split. She described a home where love never expanded, only pressure did. According to her, Todd and Kandi weren't living together. They were living parallel. Strangers sharing a house, sharing duties, sharing a child, but not sharing a life. Heavenly's tone softened briefly, almost compassionate, even as her words sliced through the internet like blades. "It's painful to watch two people perform," she said. "It's worse when you know one never wanted the marriage and the other never felt welcome inside it." She described the emotional distance as a physical barrier, thick, cold, impossible to breach. A wall that rose higher with every argument, every allegation, every stretch of silence. She said the public saw togetherness, but behind that polished frame was a knot of resentment growing for years, waiting for the moment it would finally erupt. And then she explained how the collapse finally came. Arguments turned into accusations. Accusations turned into threats. Threats hardened into choices that couldn't be undone. And somewhere in that emotional war zone, someone decided the pretending had to stop. Heavenly said the divorce wasn't shocking to anyone inside that house. It was simply the moment someone finally took control. The truth was, everyone under that roof had been emotionally divorced for years. Her voice dropped darker as she described the final days before the news broke. Nights when no one spoke. Nights Todd slept in another room. Nights Kandi stayed out longer than necessary. Nights when the house stopped feeling like a home. She ended it with a sentence that landed like a ruling. This wasn't a breakup. It was a collapse. Everything viewers believed shattered at once. And in those last moments before headlines exploded, the truth didn't whisper, it screamed. The kind of revelation that doesn't just surprise, it shakes people to their core. Heavenly leaned closer, shadows heavy behind her, her calm intensity freezing the room. No theatrics. No emotion. Just facts sharp enough to stop thousands mid-scroll. She went straight to the foundation, the home, the marriage, the illusion. This wasn't a simple disagreement, she said. It wasn't ordinary fighting. It was the slow destruction of every emotional bond in that house. Each connection weakened, controlled, or broken on purpose. And no one noticed because the smiles were flawless, the family photos perfect, the posts polished to hide the damage underneath. Her tone carried weight, not gossip. Kandi's control wasn't accidental. It was calculated. It was obsessive. She allegedly tracked every interaction, every reaction, every move around her, Todd, Riley, even cast members. Everyone was managed. Everyone was positioned. Pieces in a game no one realized was happening. The live chat erupted, disbelief colliding with obsession. Viewers were locked in. No one could turn away. The comments blurred into rage, shock, and heartbreak. Heavenly pushed further, sketching a portrait of Todd's isolation. He was trapped, she said, her voice dropping to almost a whisper. Trapped inside a marriage where love was a performance, where loyalty was demanded but never returned. Every attempt at emotional closeness was shut down with strategy or silence. He didn't just lose love, he lost his sense of self. Then she exposed the alleged emotional betrayal that made the audience gasp. While the world stayed distracted by the image of perfection, Heavenly said Todd was quietly searching for understanding, compassion, someone who could see him without judgment. That person was Portia, and their connection wasn't harmless conversation. It was survival. A lifeline. The screen detonated. Thousands typed at once. Wait, what? OMG. Some shouted into empty rooms. Some leaned closer. Others froze, trying to absorb every word. Heavenly didn't flinch. Comfort, she said slowly, letting each word settle, turns into attachment. Attachment turns into consequences. And in this case, those consequences may have left something behind no one was prepared for. A child. There were whispers. There were claims. There were people who knew and stayed silent out of fear. The chat spiraled out of control. Shock morphed into frenzy. It felt like the internet cracked open in real time. No one could escape the tension, the tragedy, the crushing weight of alleged truths being exposed so publicly. She paused, letting it all sink in, then shifted to the family dynamic. Mama Joyce, she said, her tone heavy, wasn't a bystander. She allegedly poured fuel on the fire, steering Riley to distrust Todd, shaping perceptions, planting resentment so deep reconciliation became impossible. Her influence wasn't subtle. It was toxic, constant, deliberate. Every move looked casual, but every action reinforced control, not love. Heavenly's words cut deeper. And Riley wasn't just watching from the sidelines. She became part of it, knowingly or not, absorbing that toxicity and reflecting it back. She was taught to see Todd as an outsider, as a threat. And that conditioning shaped every interaction inside that house. Viewers gasped. Screens went silent for seconds as thousands tried to comprehend the scale of it all. This wasn't celebrity gossip. It was the exposure of what looked like a perfect family allegedly built on manipulation, distance, and hidden agendas. And then Heavenly moved toward the most shocking revelation yet. Don Juan, Heavenly said, her eyes narrowing, wasn't just a manager. Allegedly, he became involved in ways that complicated everything. Lines were crossed. Trust was fractured. And the boundaries of that household were violated. There are claims that a child long believed to be Todd's may not be as at all. And this wasn't idle gossip. These were whispers from people inside the circle who watched it unfold firsthand. The chat spiraled into chaos. People shouted at their screens. Some flatly refused to believe it. Some broke down. Others admitted they'd sensed the fractures before, but never imagined the damage ran this deep. Heavenly didn't pause to let it settle. She went further. Every confrontation, every argument, every carefully placed move, she said, was about control. Kandi allegedly demanded total dominance, not just over the marriage, but over how everyone perceived it. Interactions were managed. Emotions were steered. Relationships were leveraged to keep her untouchable. Heavenly's voice dropped, growing quieter but sharper. Todd's attempts to assert himself were quietly dismantled. His efforts to communicate, to understand, to love, met calculated distance. His attempts at financial or emotional protection were resisted. And the prenup, far from a neutral agreement, became proof of the imbalance, a public marker that love was never the foundation. The audience reaction became a tidal wave. The same messages repeated again and again. This is insane. I can't. OMG. But Heavenly didn't stop. She said while the world believed it was witnessing a normal family, normal struggles, emotional manipulation and control were happening in plain sight. What looked like smiles may have been the calm surface of a private storm. What looked like harmony may have been the careful execution of someone's will. She explained how Portia allegedly became central to the hidden story, an emotional anchor Todd leaned on as the household collapsed around him. And from that connection, she said slowly, came consequences. A bond. A fracture. Possibly a child. A truth that shattered the story the public thought it knew. The chat couldn't keep up. Thousands typed at once, arguing, questioning, gasping. The screen became pure chaos. Then Heavenly delivered the final layer, alleged emotional warfare, strategic cruelty, and a man trapped between love, responsibility, and betrayal. This isn't just a divorce, she said, her voice steady. This is the unraveling of lives, the exposure of secrets, and the destruction of an image built over decades. The household didn't heal. It didn't adapt. It performed. Everything was calculated. The arguments that surfaced, the whispers, the forced smiles, all of it had been performance. And now, at last, the truth had slipped its restraints. She closed with a statement that left viewers frozen. This story isn't finished. But what's already been exposed should be enough for anyone to understand that what appeared flawless was never real. Control, manipulation, silence, emotional chess. This was never a marriage. It was a maze of calculated moves, and only now is the world discovering the exits. The live didn't end with applause. There were no cheers, just silence. The kind that grips your chest, locks your screen, and leaves you staring long after the stream goes dark. The fallout was instant. Social media fractured on impact. Timelines flooded across languages and time zones. Newsrooms scrambled. Fans screamed, dissected, argued. Conspiracies were born in real time. People who once idolized the couple began questioning everything, every photo, every interview, every smile, every moment they thought they understood. The narrative didn't crack. It collapsed. And as the internet struggled to keep pace, one undeniable truth hovered over everything. Nothing about this marriage was what it seemed. The facade was gone. The illusion shattered. What remained was raw, chaotic, emotionally devastating, and viral beyond imagination. Every viewer knew it in their gut. This scandal, this heartbreak, this deception, the internet had never witnessed anything quite like it. With every share, every repost, every comment, the story spread like wildfire. Heavenly didn't just expose a relationship. She exposed a system of control, manipulation, and emotional damage that had been hiding in plain sight. By the time the stream ended, the damage was irreversible. A legacy built over years. An image carefully polished. Public trust. Family perception. All of it lay in ruins, allegedly dismantled in front of millions. And as people logged off, one question echoed in every mind, pounding like a drum. How much of what we saw was real, and how much was carefully staged? It was tragedy. It was scandal. It was the kind of story that would haunt the internet for months, even years, reshaping every memory of what once looked perfect. Now, as the dust begins to settle, one truth hangs heavy in the air. The illusion is gone. The smiles, the celebrations, the curated posts all shattered, leaving nothing but exposed reality. What the world thought was love was control. What the world thought was unity was manipulation, and there was no way back. What the world once accepted as family was really a maze of secrets, betrayals, and unspoken wounds. Every viewer watching understands the gravity of what's been uncovered. A household, a marriage, an empire built on power instead of love. A story where every whisper, every look, every interaction was deliberate, calculated, controlled. And now, at last, the fractures hidden for years are impossible to ignore. It's a tragedy, yes, but it's also an awakening. A complete dismantling of an image millions trusted without question. And the fallout? Pure chaos. Shockwaves. Heartbreak. Conversations erupting across timelines, theories racing faster than facts, questions burning everywhere. Who truly loved? Who was truly betrayed? And what truths are still buried, waiting for the moment they can no longer stay hidden? This story doesn't stop here. What's been revealed is only the opening act. You've seen the lies, the manipulation, the emotional damage. You've watched the pieces of a life splinter under control and deception. Now, it's time to witness what comes next. Subscribe. Turn on notifications. Stay with us as we dig deeper into the scandals, the secrets, and the explosive truths the world wasn't prepared to face. This is far from finished. Every detail, every confession, every hidden moment, you'll see it here first. Stay ready. Brace yourself. Watch closely, because the next chapter will shock, devastate, and expose more than anyone ever imagined.